doing, Shondale?
I'm well. How are you doing today, Mark?
I'm well. It is good to talk to you.
I appreciate you having me on the show. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. I do this as a way to connect with people, just meet all across. I do. I work at a news station here in Raleigh,
hmm
Carolina, so I kind of started that as just a way to get my foot in the door in the media.
Okay. Okay. How's it going so far?
Doing pretty well. I'm
Good.
experienced at the station, so um, I do this as these interviews, just a way to connect with people, reach out, and just try to get myself out there.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you for this time,
No problem. I appreciate you having me on the show.
man.
Yeah.
For myself and people who don't know you,
hmm
explain who Shondale is and your reason for being on the podcast today.
Okay. So I am Shondale Atkinson. I am the founder of the Mustard Seed Foundation, which is a residential parenting facility for teenage moms and babies in the foster care system. I've done that work as a residential provider since 2007. And we take all young ladies in the foster care system that are ages 13 to 21. However, the reason for me starting Mustard Seed Foundation was because I was in foster care myself here in Montgomery County. And after being in 21 foster homes and becoming a teen mom myself, um, I was able to successfully come emancipate out of foster care with my daughter. And that began this journey of what advocacy looked like for me. So, yeah.
Yeah. Um, Talk about. You said I heard you say you was from Montgomery County. Um,
Yeah.
that's I got some people down in that way, down Troy area.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yes, Lord. Troy, Mount Gay. I got family down that way.
Yeah.
Small town, man, but everybody
Right.
connected.
Right.
So just talk about a little bit of some of the stress you went through and how you overcame it with just dealing with becoming.
So it was a lot of stress. I was born in the 70s, the late 70s, when crack was just coming into our communities. And unfortunately, my mother was one of the ones who fell victim to the crack era. So my mother had 5 kids, and all of us went in and out of foster care. Went through a lot of different situations within foster care, and being molested, being raped in foster care, being beaten and abused for things that we didn't have no understanding about. And so being separated from my siblings and being separated from my mother, it was and I was in foster care from ages 1 to 18. So I was in there pretty much all of my life. So I never really knew what it felt like to really have a family or have, that love that comes from having a family structure. So there was a lot of stress. And so coming out of foster care, it was really stressful because, again, there was no family to help you pick up the pieces or figure out your next direction. And when I started Mustard Seed Foundation, that was my whole purpose, was just give these young ladies a family, to give them what I didn't have, structure. So yeah.
Talk about just in the impact of the foster care and how that made you start a documentary beyond the system.
So the challenges that I faced are some of the things that about the foster care system that led me to start the Beyond the System documentary. It was, again, watching how there were no advocates for us. We didn't really have a voice. I didn't have a voice. When I said I was being molested by a foster parent, I wasn't heard, I wasn't believed, I wasn't protected. And so I oftentimes felt like with the foster care system, they take kids from parents who are just struggling, parents that may not have lights or may not have food or may not have, following hard times, or being the crack epidemic hit. And they went in and they just, came in like a flood and took all these kids out of homes and then placed them in worse situations, essentially, and devalued us in such a way that it was like, okay, this isn't right. So Beyond the System, a journey through foster care, is highlighting some of the things that the system could do to help protect kids that they've chosen to remove from their parent. And so my goal with this is to give a thought-provoking, and it wasn't just one-sided. I didn't want it to just be, okay, it was all bad. there are some good parts of foster care too that I wanted to be able to have people speak about. So that's really what this film is about. It's the collective voice of people who was either in the system, who lost their children to the system, teachers, counselors, caseworkers. There's a whole variety of different voices on this film.
When this film comes out, I think it's what, 2025?
Yes.
What can we expect, and what's your target audience you're trying to highlight? Younger crowd?
Yeah, so spring of 2025. Yeah, spring of 2025, this film is coming out. My goal is to have it released. The day that we want to premiere it is during Social Work Month, which is March of 2025. So the goal is that we are targeting those who work with the foster care system, you know, whether you're a caseworker, whether you're a nurse, healthcare provider, anyone who works closely with foster care youth, teachers, principals. We want them to start humanizing the kids that are sitting in front of them. I want to put a face with the names and the trauma. So I really want them to start paying closer attention when you have a foster care youth in your presence. Not only that, but I want them to learn how to listen to the foster care youth. If they're trying to advocate for themselves, they don't need to be called a liar. They need to be heard and listened, just like you would if it was your own child who came to you and told you that they were being sexually abused or physically abused. You would be like, okay, well, let's go get them. So that's one of the things that I want caseworkers to understand, that these are somebody else's kids. They may not be yours, but they're someone's. So I want you to start paying attention to the fact that they may not have to be yours for you to stand up and do the right thing. But then the second top target audience is individuals who in care right now, or that also came out of foster care, that's dealing with lifelong trauma that they have not healed from. So what I expect to see in this, you know, with this coming out, is a lot of healing.
Yeah. Last question, and I'm gonna let you go. Just when it's released, where can I find it? Shout out to your social media and anything else you want people to know about this documentary and being in foster care. The floor is yours.
Absolutely. So one of the things is we're going to be showing it at the Neon here, which is a local theater. That's where we will be premiering it at. And I have several people that are working with me on this documentary that I just absolutely love, and I appreciate them coming on with this project. So Stephen Muhammad, who is my co-producer for this project, he is amazing, and he's taking everything that's in my head, my vision, and bringing it to the big screen. And then we have Tiffany Countryman. Tiffany is pretty much my creative director. She is pretty much the one that is helping me organize all of this and asking all the questions of interviewees that's on there with us. We have Angela K. Davis. She has done other projects herself in the film industry, and she is remarkable with creating plays and films. So I'm happy that she came on. And then Thomas Troutman, who is a household name, the Troutmans. He's joined us in pretty much behind the scene. He's my guy. So, there's a collaboration of not just myself in this film. There's about 25 other people who are interviewed in this film also. And then, of course, my production team. So I just want everybody to check it out. Again, please pay attention to the launch date, to the premiere date. Right now, we are saying March 2025. It is going to be at the Neon. I would love for you to come, Mark. Maybe you could come and do it on site. Capture some footage of us on site.
Not a problem. Let's stay in touch. We definitely can. Shondale, I appreciate your time.
Absolutely, Mark. I appreciate you having me on the show today. You be blessed.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you.